Baltimore, good morning. This is Venn McCormick, host of the New Life Show. We're pleased today to have a gentleman who flew in from Texas to be with us, but he's a son of Baltimore. He got his beginnings here, and he took his skill set from Main Street to Wall Street. So I thought it was a very interesting interview that we will have with him, so that those who may have that desire, and when you see him, you'll understand that you might find yourselves in rooms where people don't look like you. So this is an inspirational moment. So Baltimore, don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
Never give up on yourself.
Baltimore, welcome back. I'm Venn McCormick, host of the New Life Show. We've got a wonderful guest today, Mr. Alan Price, who took the time to fly in from Texas and be with us and share his skill set with you. And I want to introduce you to a very interesting guy, a wonderful person in my life, Mr. Alan Price. So Al, thank you for flying in from Texas and being with us here on the New Life Show.
I wouldn't have missed it for the world. You and I have talked about me coming and being a part of the show, and calendars just couldn't get synced up. So I'm glad I've got an opportunity to come and sit down with you and celebrate you and the things you're doing here in Baltimore City, which I still track. I live in Dallas, but very interested in what's happening in Baltimore since, as you said it, this is my city. I am a son of the city, born in Baltimore, educated here. And all that. So I'm just excited to be here, and I appreciate the opportunity to come and talk to you and talk to the viewers.
So I don't want to keep our viewers at bay, because they're looking at, don't Mom, come here a minute. You know what I mean?
I'm your twin.
so let me just tell you, Baltimore, this is my younger brother, and I don't want to stay long. And I wasn't sure I should share this, because I don't want to be crying on camera. But my brother has been an inspiration to me. He'll talk about it. He's very well educated. He's in the finance, and he's an inspiration to me, and I thought it'd be a great idea for you to have a conversation with our folks men and women, young men
yeah.
and young women who are in finance right now, Al, who are in some of our colleges right here, or even in the high schools. I graduated from Poly. Al graduated from
Milford
Mill.
Yeah.
It's changed names, as a matter of fact.
Yep.
Yeah, I think it's Milford Mill Academy.
Yep.
So
I think you're right. Yeah.
So I thought it was a great idea to have you to just talk about where you were, how you started, and how you got to Wall Street. So tell them how does a person like that get to Wall Street?
That's a great question, and I've gotten that question a few times over the last 20 years. And it's funny, every time I get that question, I always sort of stumble through the answer, because there's no clear path to getting to high finance, if you will. And I think my path was a bit serendipitous. I was, as you mentioned, I'm born and raised here, educated here, went to University of Baltimore, so right down on, I think, Mount Royal.
That's right.
And had a non-traditional path. My degree is in business and political science. As you know, you were right there with me in terms of just as I went through that. I had aspirations of going to law school. Spent a lot of time in the summertime going up to the Mitchell Courthouse and listening to court cases, and got to know some amazing judges, many of which have since retired or have passed away. Judge Lavon Johnson was a guy who stood out in my head as a mentor. Judge Mitchell was a mentor, and met a whole host of state attorneys at the time, or assistant state attorneys. But the law school thing didn't work out, and I ended up in banking as a loan officer, working for Mercantile Bank. A lot of folks who've been around Baltimore remember that bank.
Yeah.
It was predominantly white institution, headquartered here in Baltimore, and quite frankly was getting into trouble because they weren't lending in the community by which they were taking deposits from.
That's right.
Many folks may know the CRA, which is Community Reinvestment Act, which every bank has to adhere to. And at the highest level, that legislation basically says if you're a bank, you must lend in the communities that you serve.
That's right.
And so Mercantile wasn't doing that. So their answer to that was hiring a minority loan officer. So my first real job was lending, going out to the Baltimore community and finding first-time home buyers and folks who were buying, at the time, this is a long time ago, so 65, 70 grand was kind of starter home price. And that was my first real job. So that job, and you and I talked about this in a prior conversation, was the job that really got me interested in finance. And once I got, working with homeowners, doing homeowner education classes, things like that, talking about credit, the importance of credit, all those things got my mind wandering around this whole financial, the business of finance. And so I was very interested in that. And that's really where the bug began. And so, I can certainly take you through my resume, but that,
We ain't have time for that.
Do the short version.
Resume.
Yes, yeah, exactly.
So, and I appreciate that, Al, and thank you for that, man, and just trudging through because, and you and I have talked about this. You have found yourself in rooms. We're going to pick up on this in the next segment as Frank counts me down. You found in your room, yourself in rooms where there's nobody else in the room that looked like you.
Yep.
And you just told me before the show started, before we shot this show, that you still find yourself in those rooms similar to that. And I just find that striking in 2025.
Yeah.
But
as do I.
Yeah. Yeah. So we're going to touch on that in a moment. But I want to tell you, I appreciate you coming from Texas and Baltimore. This is Alan Price. Great guy, and I'm not just saying that because my younger brother. He's an inspiration to a lot of folk, and we're going to continue our conversation, so don't go anywhere. Be right back.
Baltimore City, a vibrant hub with a resilient spirit, yet one that grapples with the pervasive challenges of addiction. At the forefront of this crucial battle stands the New Life Recovery Center. For years, New Life has been a dedicated haven, offering vital substance abuse services to individuals seeking a path to recovery. Their commitment to healing and rebuilding lives is unwavering. Recognizing the profound impact of New Life's work, Baltimore City's own 10th District Councilwoman, Felicia Porter, recently visited the center. Her appearance as a guest on the New Life TV show underscores the importance of open dialogue and shared understanding in addressing the addiction crisis. Councilwoman Porter's presence and public support are more than symbolic. As an active participant in numerous community associations and public health initiatives across Baltimore, her voice carries significant weight. Her understanding of the intricate challenges facing the city, coupled with her expertise in health policy, makes her a powerful ally in the fight against drug, alcohol, and gambling addictions.
There's a great push for helping reentry.
Yes.
A lot of reentry programs, we've been doing reentry for almost as long as I've been open, right? We've been taking people who've just come home. I more recently was able to get in direct communication and collaboration with Marcy, who's taken me over to Behind the Walls.
Yes.
So we've been doing some things, bringing some people home. There's some programs at the federal level that allow some people to get their sentences reduced. You know about that.
Yes.
Never give up on yourself.
Baltimore, welcome back. This is Venn McCormick, host of the New Life Show. And we've got Alan Price here, up from Texas, a Baltimore son. I want to make sure I say that. And Al, thank you for coming up. And we were talking in our last segment, and I think this is important, and it's kind of interesting. You and I talked often about in your beginnings, and even through these days, you find yourself in rooms where there's no one else who looks like you.
Yeah.
And you said something interesting before the start of the shoot that you still see that, which is very interesting to me because I wouldn't think that it was like that. But can you just talk about a little bit about you being in those rooms and you recognizing first that you need to be in that room, right? That you've done the work necessary. And I know you have to be in that room. So you're not there by happenstance, you're not there. And I'm gonna say this at the risk of some people not wanting to watch the show after the day. You're not there because of DEI. You're there because you've done the work, right?
That's right.
Some people are not gonna like me saying that, but that's okay.
That's right.
So you can just talk about how you feel in those rooms and how important it is for you to be in those rooms, and just maybe something encouraging for those who are in your position, who are much younger, right? Who see that as maybe something that they fear.
No, I appreciate that, the opportunity to sort of address that. It's that's an emotional topic for me personally and professionally. What I want to at least leave you with, as well as the listening audience, is I cannot say enough about being prepared and being coming into a situation. We're talking about finance, different meetings, different engagements, but life is about being prepared. And so I think as I've sort of my journey around from Main Street to Wall Street, as you say, and I'm still working in that space, I just don't live in New York anymore. I have found that the lack of diversity in some of these boardrooms and these meetings it's a function of a lot of things, and I don't have the time to address it. This isn't the forum to address it in a fulsome way. But one of the things that I can say, having lived it and continuing to live it, is we as minorities, we have to desire to want to be in these rooms. But the desire by itself won't get you there. There's no silver bullet. There is no one ingredient fits all, one size fits all. You have to have the desire. You have to then figure out what is the path, what are the requirements to play.
Sure.
If you're a kid, we just went through and watched the draft for the NFL.
Right.
And you have all these kids, and I'm fortunate that a few young men that I've watched play in high school, that my son played along with, have been picked up by different teams. But I've watched their journey. The one common thread is preparedness. You have the desire to play football. I use the football analogy.
Sure.
Or you can apply this to any sport. Having the desire to play at the highest level. Sports, it would be professional. In finance, it would be, we talk about Wall Street, but there's all different avenues of finance. And so at the end of the day, to be included in those conversations, those very critical discussions around business and commerce, whether it's the gender or race, you have to be prepared. And my own journey was one of, again, I mentioned serendipity, if you will. I kind of fell into some different things, and finally something clicked that I was interested in, and I heard no a whole bunch of times. And so one thing I would say to you, and you know this, you may hear no 10 times, you may hear no 20 times. You're not right for this role. You don't have the right background. You don't have the MBA from an Ivy League school, which many of my colleagues do. I had a non-traditional path. I went to a University of Baltimore. It wasn't Ivy League.
Right.
My degree isn't in accounting or economics or finance. I just really liked those subjects. So I worked hard. Didn't do a lot of running around. I was working to understand the business. So the one thing that I would say to you and anyone else is having the desire, number one, taking the time to be prepared, walking into a meeting and be ready to go. And those skills don't start when you're 25. They start when you're 10. They start when you're 15. What I would say to a young person, young man, young lady who has the desire to work on Wall Street, start now. If you're given an assignment in school, get the assignment done ahead of time. Go over your work. Those basic blocking and tackling tools that we learned when we were kids, they still apply when you're in college. They still apply in grad school. They still apply when you get that first professional job. But those key things that Big Mama taught us, and our parents taught us about double checking your work. You remember sitting there doing those math problems, and you got to double check your work and make sure it's not getting to the right answer. It's understanding all the steps in between that gets you to the answer. Those are the critical things. And I would apply those things and continue to apply those things to my professional life. And I think, I've gotten to this place, Venn, where I no longer worry about being the only one in the room that looks like me. I've gone through that phase in my life where I'm always, clutching my pearls, as they say. And I don't have, now I'm just in there doing the work.
Right.
I happen to be the only one who looks like me in the room.
Right.
But you made the point about DEI, and you're right. That's an emotionally charged topic these days, and I don't want to add fuel in any direction.
Right.
But what I will say is, nothing will trump preparedness and intellect. And even if you're in an environment where preparedness and intellect doesn't seem to be getting you where you want to go, because there are other factors that are preventing that ascension, my advice: get out of that organization. And that doesn't mean whether you're finance, non-finance, for-profit, non-profit. If you're in an environment that is not supportive of you, not supportive of the value that you bring to that organization, this is not about Wall Street. This is just about everyday life. If
Absolutely.
you're in that kind of organization, get out of that organization. You need to be in an organization that values you as a person holistically. They value your thoughts. They value the talents that you bring to the table. And I think even in the world of high finance and Wall Street, there are lots of firms. You just have to find that organization.
I appreciate that, Al. And that's great information for those who are in college or even in high school. Preparedness then, not later, but
right.
now, rather, I should
That's right.
say. So thank you for that. So Baltimore, go get your snacks and come right back.
Councilwoman Porter was given a tour of the New Life Recovery Center by Executive Director Venn McCormick, a distinguished public servant holding a Master's of Public Health degree and a Master's of Science in Law degree. Councilwoman Porter brings a wealth of knowledge and a deep commitment to the health and welfare of her constituents. This tour showcased the exciting progress of the center's second phase of reconstruction and renovation.
So how soon can you say June? How soon can they start moving in?
Well, say again?
June's pretty safe.
Yeah, that's our target. Welcome back, Baltimore. I'm Venn McCormick, host of the New Life Show, and we're pleased to have Mr. Alan Price to be with us today. So, Al, I'm gonna take the opportunity to have this last segment and just be a little personal, because as I shared with the folks, we're brothers. You're my younger brother by a couple of years, and I want to tell you something that you and I laugh and joke about it, and I've shared with Baltimore about this because I think it's important. So, as a matter of fact, I think I told you. So tomorrow, May the 7th, I'll celebrate 25 years clean. I know you know that.
Yeah.
Yeah, Baltimore. If I can do it, so can you. So so prior to that, running around being crazy, being led by cocaine, and one of my jail stints, I called you on the phone to come get me. I was getting out of Baltimore County Detention Center. I think I did 60 days. And you said, yeah, man, I'm coming. Well, you know what? I can't come get you, but I'm going to send you a ride. Right? So when I hear that, I'm just thinking he's going to send me a cab, or Ubers wasn't the thing at that time, right? It was pre-Uber.
Right.
I was in the 90s. And I remember you told me a limo was coming. And it wasn't that I disbelieved you. I just couldn't fathom that because I'd never seen that, right? And I remember, Al, that the limo pulled up and the dude got out and he said, "Are you Mr. McCormick?" And I was in front of the jail with my bag.
Yep.
And it was some other cats that was out there waiting for whoever to come pick them up. And I remember that, man. And I want to tell you, even though it would take me a few years after that to get my head together, I want to tell you that, man, that I appreciate that. Yeah. So my question is, in these last few minutes, and I ain't gonna stay long on this because my eyes go water. I don't want to do that. Is there something that you saw early on that you might have seen? I don't even know how to frame it, even though Frank gave us an idea that you might have seen that showed you, because your path was different, right? My brother's not. He didn't come out that mob. It's something that you saw that said, you know what? I see Venn doing that. I better not do that. Can you frame that for us?
I can try.
Okay.
I can try.
Nothing beats a failure but.
You'll let me know how it goes at the end of all this, but it's hard to sort of really address it and not be emotional, just because, you're my brother, I love you. But you've always been big bruh, and I love big bruh. So, sucks it's on camera, but it is what it is. But to see you now, I'm in awe. I flew in from Dallas, but the fact of the matter is I've tracked your career and your growth because you big bro. And watching you move through Baltimore City and have the impact that you have on the citizens of Baltimore who need it the most, to be that voice, to be that advocate for people who don't have a voice, for people who don't have an advocate. I promise you, there's nothing I've ever done professionally or personally that compares to what you're doing in Baltimore. So I really flew into Baltimore from Dallas to tell you, I love you. Don't ever stop doing the things you're doing. Don't ever stop moving the way you move, because the things that you are doing, you are impacting the city. And there's a reason why people gravitate towards you, whether it's political folks or business folks or just common folks. It's because you are the same person you were back when we were teenagers. You were rambunctious, you didn't follow directions, you were not disciplined, and my younger sister and I looked at that and said, well, we don't want none of that. But as it turns out, that those attributes that you had back then are the same kind of attributes that you are facing as you deal with your clients, as you deal with people who are in varying stages of addiction, undisciplined, don't want to listen, don't want to follow directions. You know all about that.
That's pretty good.
Right?
Pretty good.
And so now you're able to bring all of that experience that you've had, the good, the bad, and the in the middle. And you're able to impact people in a positive way. You talk in your show about mental health and recovery, and my finances or my degree is more financial related, but there's also financial health. And the discussion that you and I've had about me coming on this show and sharing with you was supposed to be about sharing up the things one should do from a financial perspective to ensure that they have, they're financially healthy. And so I want to make sure that I'm true to that. Understanding credit, understanding, very much like mental health, understanding your credit is important. It's just like understanding things that drive you from a mental health perspective, things that impact your mental health. Well, I was having a conversation with a friend of mine earlier today who gave me some really, really good, topics to think about as I prepared to come here. And this idea of, overspending, it sometimes is driven by depression or just emotional and compulsive spending. All those things tie into your mental health. So understanding the financial piece, your financial health and well-being, is critical to any community thriving. Black community, white community, doesn't matter. And so the things that you're doing in Baltimore City right now, the things that you've been doing for the last 20-some years, and the things that you're going to do for the next 20-some years, are all things that this community needs. This community needs, and I say this humbly, another Alan Price, meaning someone sitting in the boardroom, some little black boy, some little black girl. This community needs that.
Absolutely.
But this community also needs, equally, if not more, another Venn McCormick. Someone who takes passion for people and healing and turns it into a mission and executes that mission in a way that is having a positive impact on a city. That, my friend, is why I'm here, to celebrate you.
Wow, man,
So
you,
with that, I say, big bruh, I love you.
love you too, man.
To the moon and back.
Appreciate you. Man, thank you. Baltimore, this is my little brother, all grown up on Wall Street. Thank you for tuning in today. We've got more shows. I've been able to talk to Channel 2. We're going to be on all year, every Sunday. Please come back and tune in next week. Venn McCormick, The New Life Show.
Substance abuse is not just an individual problem. It affects families, friends, and the very fabric of our community.
My name is Dr. Ocelia Pearsall. I am the Chief Development Officer for New Life Recovery Center. By trade, I'm a physician assistant. I also have a doctorate in public health, as well as a master's in education and a doctorate in divinity. That helps me to provide the comprehensive individualized care that we have here at New Life Recovery. We identify with those that may be the lost, least, and left out in the community of substance use, psychiatric rehabilitation. We also ideally deal with those that are homeless. Unfortunately, 95% of the population that needs these type of services are homeless. So we strive to help to restore hope and healing back to the community.
For those seeking a path to recovery, the New Life Recovery Center offers more than just a place to stay. It offers a chance to truly heal, to reclaim one's life, and to build a brighter future. If you or someone you know is struggling with addiction, don't wait. Reach out today. Visit us at newliferecoverycenter.org or call 410-304-6563. For intake, call 240-253-3663. A new life is just a call away.
Baltimore, thank you for tuning in. This is Venn McCormick, host of The New Life Show. I'm also the executive director of the New Life Recovery Center. I want to thank my brother for coming in and having a heartfelt show. It was a great show. We're a family show, believe it or not. I don't talk about it. I talk about the New Life family, but we are a family show. We do take small families, as a matter of fact. We're here for you for your mental health needs. We shared the number through the commercials. Please call the numbers that we give you. And we're here for you, Baltimore. We're expanding next door. We're going to have 50 additional units. We'll talk about that as the time draws near for opening that. That should be about July. So we want to thank you for tuning in because you got a lot of choices. Thank you. We hope to see you next week.
Visit us at newliferecoverycenter.org or call 410-304-6563. For intake, call 240-253-3663. A new life is just a call away.
Never give up on yourself.